Welcome to Cahoots Live for Sunday, February 25th. In case you're tuning in for the first time, I'm Dylan Trahan, and with me as always, my main man, Patrick Main. How's it going, Pat?
It's going really good, man. What a good week this was.
Yeah, you made some cool videos this week, too.
Yeah, and some of them are coming out today. We did, I did a silly, Casey finally talked me into doing I do my husband's makeup challenge video.
You know what, I told her a long time ago, I'm like, you should do that. That would be so much fun.
I look pretty cute. I
saw the picture.
I was kicking and screaming, and then by the end of it, I'm like, wow, you know, maybe this is something we can do every day together. Do our makeup in the mornings, bonding time between a husband and a wife.
You could pull off like the Frankenfurter look, I think.
What's a Frankenfurter look?
You've never seen Rocky Horror Picture Show?
Of course. Yeah. Yes. Tim,
Just a sweet
Tim Curry.
transvestite.
I even said that. I did look a little bit.
I love
Tim
that.
Curry.
That's my favorite number in that whole show.
Yeah, it's good.
All right.
Let's
dip into our very aptly named Cahoots Live Fishbowl, because we're very creative here on Cahoots.
Cahoots Live Fishbowl. Okay, Dylan.
How am I going to read the rest of it?
You got to tell everybody about our show. Truckers? What does that mean?
I think that means I have to be a trucker while I do it.
Do it as a trucker.
Okay. Don't forget, this show comes at you live every Sunday at noon Eastern Time on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook with amazing guests of all creative persuasions, such as truck painters. If you like the show, don't forget to leave a comment, join in the chat, like, subscribe, follow, or just tune again next week. Our guest this week is Jesse Lorusso. We will be right back after we play this awesome thing I made for icebreakers. From Texas.
They're all truckers down there in Texas. They all truck.
None of my family is truckers, actually.
Jesse,
come on in.
Lorusso, our guest for today.
Hi.
Our special guest.
Jesse Lorusso from the Lorusso School of Dance.
Hi, how's it going, guys?
Good.
Fantastic.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being
Anyone who watched last week actually saw a little bit, just a bit of a training montage of what we have coming up later in the show.
It was a teaser.
But before we get into all this conversation about dancing, first we have to have an inane icebreaker. And for today's icebreaker, we have to ask, if you were a Spice Girl, which Spice Girl would you be?
Okay. Do you want to start?
Sure.
Okay.
I'd be Posh.
You-
I don't know, growing up, I'm obsessed. I love the Spice Girls. When I heard there was a reunion tour.
Did you go?
There's one coming.
Oh, it's coming.
This year.
Then
yeah.
are you going?
Oh, I was like crying. I'm sure. I was like, I have to go, and I don't know. I've always loved Posh, so the Beckham family.
I had a weird crush on Baby Spice when I was a kid. I don't know why, because now when I go back and look, I'm like, I don't get it. I don't really get it. She's kind of like the one with the least character.
Yeah.
Which says, I guess, like, that makes me sound like a...
She always had candy
jerk,
and
but-
tote, which made her seem cool, maybe.
It was literally just like the stranger with candy appeal.
So does that mean you would be Baby Spice?
I think, I feel like I have the most connection to Baby Spice.
Okay.
Yeah.
I might be Sporty. She's spunky. I like her.
Which one was
spunkiness.
Sporty?
Sporty?
Melanie C.
Mel C.
The tattoo across her
Oh,
arm.
okay.
She did a cover with Bryan Adams.
Eh.
I've been wandering around the house all night.
Okay, and then Bob actually told us before the show that he would be Scary Spice, which I think is apt, because he's sometimes grumpy. Because he has to deal with us.
And he does all the
Bob said
token rap
sometimes?
verses. He
And
does
I
all the
like
token rap verses.
No one picked Ginger Spice because she was the first to leave the group.
Was
too.
she?
Yeah, because she left in '98, and then they kept going for another 2 years.
Yeah.
I had no clue. Was she in the movie then?
Yeah, she was after the movie.
Oh, okay. She left
I
like
know
right after.
Way too much about this.
Today we've asked Jesse to be on the show as a Spice Girls expert today. That's actually we're not going to talk about dance at all. No. So Jesse, you have a dance studio here in town, Lorusso School of Dance.
Yes.
So before we even get to talk about that, how did you get into dancing to begin with?
Honestly, my parents put me in when I was 5. I just was always acting and singing and dancing and making up skits with my cousins and friends. And my mom and dad saw an ad in the paper for a local dance studio and just put me in. And then from there on,
The rest is history.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you've done before you're pretty new to Kincardine. Like what, couple years?
2 years coming up in June.
Wow, it's been 2 years already.
Yeah.
These last 2 years have flown by.
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
So what did you do leading up to your dance studio? What was your dance career like?
I did ballet training with George Brown College, and I went to George Brown College for commercial dance studies. I've done my teaching training with the British Association of Teachers of Dancing and Acrobatic Arts. I've appeared on the TV show Rain on the CW.
Oh,
and
cool.
Network
That's
in
really cool,
Canada.
man. Yeah.
Thank you. And I did the Stanley Dynamic on YTV. I did a few episodes of that.
Dude.
And then I did a music video with Blake McGrath. He's actually what got me into dancing professionally. I did a workshop with him when I was...
He's like Dancing with the Stars. Is that what he's on?
No, he's So You Think You Can Dance.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I did a music video with a small indie band in Toronto, and then, I taught at various studios and did some stage shows. I danced in Disney a few years ago.
That would have been fun.
Yeah, so I did a few different gigs here and there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was like the most the most exotic thing when you were the one that when you did that dance you were like, whoa, I can't believe I'm doing this style of dance in
You know
this.
what? I actually did I was always spunky musical theater. Like everything I did was very like just super energetic and outgoing, and a really, really, really great choreographer from Toronto, Sebastian Hairston. We did a gig 4 years ago on mental health, and it was about his father, and it was just so dark, and so I had never done anything like this before, and it was a very contemporary number, and I think that's the time I've done something super exotic and super out there, because everything I had done, like I said, was very musical
Positive.
theater.
Very peppy,
Yeah,
kind of.
and positive.
And
Yeah.
he was very vocal about mental health and
Yeah.
issues that his father had dealt with. And our piece was to Beyonce's song Haunted. This was about 4 years ago. But yeah, so I'd say that's probably the one gig I've done that I was probably a little bit more, it didn't come as natural for me because everything, I had always been trained like Smile, Disney, so...
Well, you're such a like a hustler. Like you do a lot. Like you get a lot done, and you've
You're a
built up a
hard-working
business
dude.
in Kincardine in the last like we said 2 years. It's amazing how much you've grown, and you're moving into a new space now too, right?
Where Jerome's Flowers used to be. We've purchased that building, and we'll be open March 19th.
That's
So-
exciting.
And what's going to be exciting too is we're going to have Roscoe Spring flooring, which is the best dance floors that you can possibly have. So I'm
Wow.
really, really grateful. So it's about 3 inches off the ground. This floor, it's like 100 layers of plywood. There's like foam underneath it, so it's going to be so good for dancers.
Wow.
With their ankles, with their
Yeah,
joints.
because otherwise, if you just have you need special floors. Because if you just have
Definitely.
concrete, and then all that impact can't be good for you over
totally.
time, right?
Yeah, and I love the building
Yeah.
too.
It's amazing how much goes into dance that a lot of people don't think about. Like for one, like the shoes. Like you've probably got like some relatively expensive shoes.
I mean, a tap shoe itself costs like $120.
I had to
But,
buy
like,
some for school. Yeah.
I mean, it depends on the brand, obviously, but yeah, I mean, dance, it is very specific with the outfits that you need in the uniform, but it takes, it depends which route you want to go in. If you're looking more recreational, and we do have recreational programs at the studio, the uniform is not as demanding,
Yeah.
but if you want to get into more serious,
Your passion is in the
Yeah.
competitive.
it is,
Yeah.
the competitive and the exams. We have a small pre-professional program. We're starting a competitive team next year. We'll do tryouts in August for that. But yeah, so that's where it gets into more serious
Now,
training.
for someone who is like older, who's like curious, that never got into dance when they were younger, do you guys do anything with older like?
We do. We have an adult ballroom program. We
that's
do
so
3
cool.
classes on Friday night. We have 2 basic classes and an intermediate, which is a lot of fun. I mean, every class is almost full right now.
Really?
Kids
Dude.
love it. I mean, adults love it. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm so used to saying kids.
Yeah.
Is it just you, or how many? Do you have other instructors?
Oh, we have quite a few. So there's myself, and then there's Jen. She runs all of our ECE early childhood programs. So we do actually have a Mommy and Me program that's on Friday morning from 10 to 10:30.
Yeah. What's that look like? What's a Mommy and Me program like?
It's bouncy castles. It's fun. It's running. It's games. It's creative. It's playing with ribbons. So
Did you
it's fun.
did you design that sort of curriculum yourself? Like, did you sort of pick out and like decide what it was going to look like yourself,
Well,
or do you
Jen
follow?
runs all of like my
okay, Jen
recreational,
does.
so she's planned like all of the. She's like our recreational goddess. Like she's created all of that, and I plan more of like our pre-professional like programs, but I do teach both
Now,
in the studio.
we've been lucky enough to actually spend a little bit of time in the studio with you, and you sort of very, very impressively on the fly put together some choreography for us, which is really cool. And you guys will see that in just a moment. But before we get to that, like when you're choreographing, like how does that work? Like how do you start?
Honestly, I think it depends on the kids. It depends on the class. Like I kind of channel the kids, their personality. I channel what I think would work, and it just happens very organically.
Yeah.
I just kind of go in there, and I think about the kids I'm working with, their skill level, certain kids what they're strong with, and then I just kind of go from there.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
It really is like a very impressive thing to watch someone just sort of, because you must have thousands and thousands of movements in your head that you can just sort of go like, oh, well, we could do this. Like,
Get the flow.
that,
Yeah.
that would never
Like
even
I said,
occur to me.
it all goes with the kids, right?
Yeah.
So like,
So if a kid comes in super high energy, big smile on their face, then you'd sort of be like, oh, do you know what song would be good for you? Something more Disney.
yeah,
And then sort of
totally. Like I have two different, like let's just say my two contemporary classes. I have in my junior contemporary, the girls that are in that class are super energetic and fun and very spunky.
Yeah.
So their dance is very lighthearted, and they're wearing like flowy dresses. It's to build a home, the song. And then my seniors, they like dark, they like edgy. So I like to do things that are a little bit more just very dark, and things that normally would maybe even be seen as like, whoa, if people were watching it, just because
Yeah.
it is.
Like a little bit more edge on the edge.
Yeah,
That's really
exactly.
cool.
So it's all about the kids that you're working with too.
Okay, so what is your favorite part of what you do? What's your favorite part of your job?
I think watching the kids progress.
Yeah?
You know, like I have this, I have like a handful of students who came into my studio and like had never danced, never trained before, and just watching them now.
Yeah.
I have two students, excuse me, sorry, that I actually brought to my home studio that I trained at to do workshops, and just seeing them there dancing, like
Yeah.
it's crazy, because I remember when they came into the studio and they didn't even know what first position
Yeah.
was.
I share the same sentiments about what we do here at Pick
Totally.
Studio. It's like once you have some kids that you spend some time with, you develop relationships with these people.
Oh, for
and then once
sure.
you see like, oh, now this kid is identifying as I'm a dancer now, or I'm a
Yeah.
musician now. It makes you feel kind of special to have been the one to introduce them, or at least
Totally.
like be with them through that journey, right?
It's a really powerful experience.
Yeah.
Now, one more question for you before we jump into our Art Olympic segment this week. So you've been dancing for a really long time. Is there
18 years, yeah.
Yeah. Is there like a moment that you remember going like, this is what I'm gonna do for the rest of my life?
There were two moments. So I had this really good teacher that I was training with when I was 15, and up until that point, like I was dancing, but it was a hobby. You know, I did community theater at that age. I was doing dance, anything my parents could put me in. So to me, it was like a hobby, right? But she really believed in me and really pushed me. So that that's kind of a moment at 15 I knew.
Yeah.
And then when I met Blake McGrath the next year and saw, you know, he had danced with Britney Spears, and we talked and we had a dinner, him and I, and yeah, he really inspired me. And I think that, that's kind of the moment I knew at 16. I was like, this is what I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna do whatever it takes to make it happen. And my parents were extremely supportive. And I mean, even with the new studio, my parents are there right now, like ripping nails out of the floor. Like they've always been like behind me to support us.
It's so important to have a good support system,
Totally,
dude.
yeah.
Well, and that says a lot about what you do now. It's really awesome that you've decided to pass that along to another generation of kids who are probably going to look up to you and think like, that's the moment I knew. It's really cool that you're doing that.
Yeah, for sure. Who knows? You know?
Thank you so much, Jesse, for coming on.
Thank you.
And Jesse's not going anywhere. We just have to reset because we are about to join the Olympic ceremony that's probably in progress right now with our own Art Olympics. Bob? I'll be right there.
Where's the board?
Oh, it's All right, we're back. I just got to tell you a little bit about the place we're at today. We've been talking a lot about education today, and we are in Pick Studio. Pick Studio is where I work and where we broadcast this show from. It's a music and arts center where your children or you can come and learn how to play music, make art. We've got a drama class coming up in the spring. There's lots of stuff you can do here. We're at 226 Queen Street. Pop in. We've got a fine selection, as you can see behind me, of instruments to get you on your musical journey. And our other sponsor, GemWeb. GemWeb is your local solution for creative, social, and web design. If you want to get in contact with GemWeb because you have a website or a project that you want to get out there, then contact them at www.gemweb, that's 2Bs, GEMWEBB.com. Now, I have to run into frame for our next shot, which is a dance-off. This is the performance.
Big performance.
Are you ready, Pat?
No, I'm about as ready as I'm gonna be.
We are about to perform for you a dance that Jesse has very kindly spent an hour trying to drag us out of our lack of skill into being dance competition masters. Jesse, do you think we're ready for?
I think you're ready. I think you guys are gonna do good. I have complete confidence in both of you.
Yeah.
That's actually, at first I wasn't sure, but now I feel like you actually mean it. I think I'm ready. Speaking of which, Jesse, before we actually do start this competition, you've got a bit of a competitive dance team starting up. Do you want to give them a little plug for that?
Yeah, so right now we currently do have a small competitive program, but we do have our competitive team starting in September. There will be auditions posted for that in August. We also do dance examinations at our studio. We do ballet examinations under the British Association of Teachers of Dancing. So if your children are interested in that at all, please give us a call. And as I was saying as well, we do have our Mommy and Me programs as well, which are great. So come on out. Yeah.
All right.
Okay,
Now,
did you do your stretches first?
let's limber up. Let's limber up.
Did you do
I'm
your
ready.
half an hour stretch?
I'm ready.
Alright.
I'm sitting at a desk. I'm ready to dance. All right, Bob.
I feel good.
Hit play. We're ready to dance. You're going down. I feel like I added extra steps. Here you go. Time for the competition.
Oh.
Hey! That's pretty good.
Hey,
Nice
that's a soldier
guy.
boy.
That was good.
Nice.
All right. I feel like I did my. I think I did my
You know
best.
what? Oh, I forgot our big grand finale.
Hey! Whoa! Whoa!
Oh.
You're not gonna do it in the moment. You don't spring it on me. All right. Let's go back to the desk. And Jesse, how do we do?
Patrick, you did great.
Thank you.
That was
I've been trying.
Absolutely wonderful. Loved it. Patrick, that was great. So,
What about me?
Patrick, that was great.
Okay. All right.
But we really are curious about the scores. Like,
Yeah.
who's
How?
the next
Let's
champion?
see.
I'm going to show them first, and then
Okay,
I'll show you
okay.
guys next. And I want to see if they agree with me.
So let them know in the comments.
If anyone agrees with me.
Okay, I'm ready. I think I'm ready for
All
this.
right, and I'll show Patrick first.
Yes. Oh. you brought a poop emoji with you.
A for F. No, it's an A. It's A for F.
Oh, okay. There's just some eyes on that A.
Put a little A on it, and then say A for effort.
That's great. That's great. A for effort. Thank you so much for coming on today, Jesse. Where can where can they find you online if they want to get in touch with you?
You can give us a like on Facebook at Lorusso School of Dance. You can send us an email at larussoschoolofdance@outlook.com. You can give us a call at 519-396-0436. I believe Bob is also putting the link to our website in the comments as well.
Yeah.
Also, we're on Instagram, Lorusso Dance Kincardine. And yeah, we offer classes in classical ballet, tap, jazz, contemporary, acrobatics, hip hop, and musical theater, adult ballroom.
Cool. And we got another vlog coming out later on today with Jesse when we were prepping for our dance comp. So stay tuned for that.
Tune in for that,
Yeah.
and we'll see you again next time.
Have a beautiful Sunday.